you got enough paints in your rear end to hold on? We turn hard.
Please don't run over the oak tree. Back on the Dodge. We called Bernard after my grandfather that bought it brand new, and we're gonna try to finish this thing up. I got this brand new shiny gas tank from LMC truck, only place I could find one, and it needs to be put behind the seat, but we need to jerk the seat out of it, and then we got some holes in the floorboard. You can see right there. We got to figure out how bad the floorboard is while we got the seat out of it. Then we got to figure out some wheels and tires for this thing. Then we got to get her cleaned up. I don't think I'm gonna put any paint on it, but maybe clear coated or something. Maybe just rub it down like the rest of y'all do. We got the rubber mat out of here, and you can see we've got the old rust just eat her up. So we have got to replace that. The other side is just as bad, and along the bottom of the door. But we found our brake pedal, and we got our gas feed. It's been a day or two since we was on the Dodge, but we're back on it, and we're fixing to make some serious progress. Rust, no rust. Got our floor pans, so we're gonna have to cut these old rust out of this thing, weld them in, and the bottom of the door is rusty, and I actually got an old door that I think we're gonna cut the bottom off of and see if we can fix that. Oh, we got them laying in here, and we're gonna mark them off with a magic marker. Then we'll trim all the rust. Clean all this right here will be the worst part, and then we'll have to separate this where this right here, you can see there's two pieces of metal, so we have to split that, you can see right there, and grind that down to where that other piece of metal butt up against this, and then we weld all that back. We want to try to preserve the outside of the truck because we're going to leave the patina on it, but I want the inside of the truck to look nice. And one thing that really makes a difference on a truck is wheels. So what are we going to do with the wheels? I've got these slotted mags that I have had for years. I actually had these on a 73 Plymouth Roadrunner when I totaled it out. So, and I was probably 16, I guess, or 17 when that happened, but I've kept these wheels. So I think these are the ones we're going to put on the Dodge truck, but we have got to get them cleaned up. My brother owns a marina, and they're always cleaning up the pontoon boats, and he has some acid that I think will clean these things up really good. So let's go down there, get a little bit of that, spray on them, and see how they turn out. And I'm gonna get Mike to go ahead and take the wires and stuff out of the floor pan, and then we'll mark that off and get them ready to go back in. All right, I got the wheels out, and I went down to my brother's, and I don't know what this stuff is called, but if you go to a marina, I'm sure they've got the same stuff that they actually clean the pontoons with, and it's a very high strength acid, and these wheels definitely need it. So let's see how they turn out. All right, I got them all coated, and you can see them bubbling. You can even see where the mud's running off of it. We'll let that work for a minute. I'll get the pressure washer out, and we'll see how they turn out. I'm assuming it's going to take more than just one coat because them is awful bad shape. Alright, the first wash, you can still see where it's got brake dust and stuff in there. Still got some issues that's got to be took care of, so that's the first wash. This in here didn't do good at all. But we got more acid. Let's flip them over to the other side. And you can see the back side is worse than the front. Let's go ahead and put some wheel acid on it and see how they come out. Alright, we're going to let that work a little while, see how that comes out. I don't know, it ain't looking like it's working too good on these. I say wheel acid, it's actually not wheel acid that I know of. It's Like I said, it's some kind of thing that marinas use to clean their pontoon boats. Probably not much more than wheel acid, but I'm gonna say it is. All right, it's set for a little bit. I'm gonna crank this thing back up and we'll see what it turns out like. Not much better. There's a lot of brake dust on there that's over the years. We ain't gonna give up. All right, I've let them set with the wheel acid on it, or the acid. And I'm going to take the pressure washer and try it again. I'm not going to film that. I really need both hands this time. So in just a second, we'll see how they turned out. Well, it's a little better. You can tell which one was on the front. And I believe that would be a front wheel, and I think this is a front wheel with brake dust on it. But it's coming. Put some more acid on. I think I'm gonna roll it over and put some on the other side and see what we got. Well, you can definitely see a difference. But we still got, you see some of that brake dust or whatever it is still in some of these, just a little bit. So that's gonna take some more elbow grease. Man, I love these slotted mags. Well, that's the back side of them. And they're still not clean, but they're 100% better than what they were. So I've got an idea. I think it's time to take these things over and sandblast the back of these and get this stuff off where it look good. I don't know if I'm gonna polish the fronts or just leave them the aluminum color. We'll see. I don't know. Now we got a major rust hole. Got her opened up both sides. All we got to do is set the floor pan back in it and weld her up. Of course, we got to clean right here before we're going to weld and get all that cleaned up, but shouldn't be long now. All right, we got the floor pan set in there where it needs to be, and all we got to do is get Dylan to put the weld to it. And we got some very bad rot on the bottom of this door. You can see it, but we don't want to mess up this part. We got this door off of one of them out there that's wrecked, and it's got a little bow right there, but it's no big deal. So we're going to cut the bottom off of this and weld to the other one. I guess the easiest thing to do would be go ahead and take this door off. We can lay it out and get it measured right. So we'll jerk that off right quick, get over on the table and see what we come up with. Old trusty moonshine. You ain't no count. All right, we got spot welded all the way around except for the front. Coming along pretty good. Looking better than the other side. Won't be long now. All right, that one is in, and this one's almost in. Moonshine. He ain't helping much. Anyway, looking pretty daggone good. Almost there. All right, I've cut these pieces off the older door, and man, I'll tell you, I was surprised when I got to it. Y'all can't see, but anyway, it was bondoed. So I've got bondo dents. Man, I thought that was perfect, but anyway, it's gonna sit in there just like that right there. I got the other little piece right here that goes. See, so it'll fit right there. Weld that up and we should be good to go. Floor pans are in, looking good. I got to get my gas pedal figured out. Do the little spot where it goes, where you mash your gas. Right here, this is what holds your fuel pedal on. I've actually got it on backwards. I believe it goes this way. And it wells on the back side. You can see these little pins are rusted really bad, and they don't hold the... So I've ordered these. Believe it or not, you can actually order this piece, and I've got it coming. Should be here today. But I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can get my holes drilled and put this on the back side and weld it in, and then that way we'll have that done. Then we put the undercoating on. All right, we patched the bottom, and we got a little bit hot right there. And if you can see it draw down the...
Yeah.
See that?
Yeah.
Is that a big deal?
Well, we'll find out, I guess.
But all I want to do on this door is paint the inside.
Okay.
I want to leave the...
Patina? We got patina?
We got all kinds of patina on this thing. We got patina, like you wouldn't believe patina. What do you think?
Okay.
Well, you didn't freak out too bad.
Not too bad yet. I like projects I can hold in my hands, not the kind you got to get help to move. like pickup trucks. Stephen had brought me some doors. At least they did the hard work. Got it patched. He says this one's going to be okay, but he wants the interior of the door to look nice. And he's going to leave the rusty patina on the outside. So we're going to try some of that patina stuff and see what that does. Then I have these wheels to polish. He did me the favor of going ahead and sandblasting them. I guess that was a favor. Then he comes in with these signs. I guess they were out of a dealership somewhere that updated their signage. Pretty cool, really. They say they light up. That was a Chrysler, and of course that's a Dodge. I wonder if we could have Warlock painted on it. Probably not. What else did he come up with for me to do? I think that was all so far. But the day is young.
I'm gonna try something a little different. This on and off hull and bottom cleaner. It's actually for fiberglass, but I think it'll work on rust. All right, let's see how that works out. I don't know about y'all, but when it comes to pressure washing, this is my tip of choice. Beat the paint off of one. Might not be too good. Well, that's a whole lot cleaner than what it was, but we're going to do the patina on the thing. It's debating on whether to fix the white. It'd be easy to fix and easy to fix the rust, and then leave the top with the patina. I don't know, what do y'all think? Or just leave the whole thing patina. Granddaddy rode on this side, so it's not beat up as bad. And then grandmother rode on this side, and it's all beat up, so I don't know if she was telling him how to drive and not paying attention to her side. But anyway, let's get it back up the shop.
I know it doesn't look like much, but I did get some stuff done today. Got started just kind of wire brushing the rust. and just kind of checking it out, seeing what I have to work with here. This one over here, the interior door panel kind of got cracked a little bit. So I have the chore of fixing it. And on the back side, you can see where it came off. So I'll mix up some epoxy here in a few minutes and reinforce the back side. The front side, we may not do much else with that. He says he's going to fix it as a Patina type truck. So the outside we're not going to repair at all, but he wants the inside to look fairly decent. Possibly when we spray some blue vinyl dye on that, might look decent. The other issue we had, this area right here, when they welded up the patch panel, but right here, when you're welding, it's common for the metal to shrink or expand. Anyway, you end up with places that pop down or they pop up. They say you can heat it up with a acetylene torch and then cool it off real quick with ice or just cold water and a rag. And that does a lot, but that's a real art form to try to get it just right. Because if you don't get it just right, it's just as bad as it was before. So what I do is I put a pry bar inside the door and then put a little tension on it, pop it up, and then peck around it and cause these little dimples. And these little dimples add some rigidity to the panel. And pecking around on it relieves the tension around the area. I'm going to coat this with the fiberglass filler, and it will be probably 1/4 of an inch thick or so across here. That will give some strength to the sheet metal, so it will stop popping in and popping out. That's my plan. We'll see if it works. I'm not sure what he's wanting to do. He said something about getting some Pour 15 to paint over all these rust spots. Pour is an excellent product. It does what it says it'll do if you do it correctly. There is a certain procedure where you have to clean it, acid etch it, and then paint the epoxy Pour 15 on. Let the first coat dry for a certain amount of time, and then come back with a second coat. If you do it the way they say, it works great. If you try to shortcut, it doesn't work as well.
We have made a corporate decision. This is the factory 2-barrel intake on the 318. So we decided to put this factory 4-barrel intake. If y'all can read them numbers, let me go around. According to the numbers, this is off of a 1970 344 barrel. I'm not going to sell the truck, so I ain't worried about the intake. It's cheaper than buying a new aluminum intake, and I ain't worried about the weight. Let's see how this works out. I brought this intake over to the body shop, sandblasted it, and painted it. So I think that really turned out super, super nice. What do you think? Let's get it back over to the shop, get it put on the motor, see how it turns out. I'm gonna go ahead and clean this engine up a little bit, put some paint on it, see if we make her look new, because it runs awful good. And it is set. There is no paint left on it whatsoever. And I've got some cool valve covers that I have ordered that I think is really gonna set this thing off. So let's go ahead and get it stripped down, put some paint on it, see how that part turns out. All right, well, there's the finished product. As you can see, we've got some overspray a little bit, but we'll fix that. I ain't quite done with it. I love that color. You know, for an old rusty Dodge, looks pretty daggone good. Now, y'all can't sit there and tell me that ain't pretty. That's looking better and better.
This is the corner that was broken off. And I like to cover the repair with plastic. It helps work the bubbles out. And when it sets up completely. There's no sticky residue left. And I'm going to call that stuck real good. what the other side looks like. There we go. I'll hit that with a scuffing pad and maybe put a little spot putty in the crack and see if I can figure out a way to get this texture back in it. One of them days that it looks like I didn't do much, but started out working on these doors, and I have painted all the rusty places with a product called POR 15. POR stands for paint over rust. I don't know what the 15 means. And according to the directions, they say if you're going to put body filler on it, you paint the pour on first, let it set up till it's dry to the touch, and then you can add filler. Yep, I'll be able to sand on that some in the morning and make it smooth and pretty. This door was not as bad, but it got the same treatment. Just paint over rust and try to stop it before it gets terrible. Oh yeah, I turn my back, Steve brings me a tailgate. He says, fix the dents, but don't remove the rust. And oh yeah, fix that aluminum trill while you're at it. Oh, okay, one more thing Steve brought me. This is cool. Look at that. I don't know if it picks it up on the video, but it says Chrysler. And there's another one over here. We haven't got it wired up yet. Got a ram.
Monday morning, we've had a heck of a storm come through our little town, and half the power's out. But we got power at the body shop. It is Memorial Day, and I know you ain't supposed to work on Memorial Day, but I'm kind of like Johnny. I didn't want to just sit at the house, so I'm polishing wheels. Johnny's working on a, what is this?
Mercury outboard motor cover.
Oh boy. It's black. You love black.
It's black, and it had a few little nibs, so I'm knocking those off.
Whew.
Sides turned out great. We got new stickers to put on it. And let's see. One little finishing touch I did.
Oh yeah, look at that now.
I did that.
That is cool. And the doors are looking good. I got a little rust spot right there, but I think it's going to be all right. When I started cutting the door and putting it all together, we thought it was going to be a little bit more smoother than what it turned out. But when you're amateurs, you have to rely on Bondo.
Bondo will fix a lot.
But it's coming along.
Yeah. I did get the metal pushed out so it wasn't going pop, 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 pop.
Right.
Real bad.
Well, we were welding this, and it was welding so good, man. It was welding so good that you just couldn't stop.
That's it. They get carried away with doing what they're doing, and they forget what they're doing. And what they were doing was heating up the metal, and it swelled.
Yeah.
And there is an art form for taking that out.
Hey, we tried that. We tried to do the ice thing.
Yeah, but
didn't work.
There's secrets to it.
Yeah.
I don't know what they are. So I just sort of got it bent back out and made it kind of a concave shape instead of flat.
Right.
That one's just dead flat.
Right.
This one has a little bit of bend to it.
Right.
And that keeps it from popping. And then the little flex that was left, I kind of stabilized that by building up some Bondo.
Right.
And that seems to have stabilized it pretty good.
And one of the good things about it, it's down low.
Yes, you never see it, especially with the door closed.
I took these wheels over there to a buddy of mine to sandblast them, and he's got one of them souped up sandblasters. Couldn't hardly get the wheels in my blaster because it's kind of small. But anyway, he blasted both sides. He blasted this side too, which I just wanted the holes, the back side of the wheels sandblasted, which they look good. But he's got y'all can't hardly see it, but man, it is really some serious sandblasting grit that he used. So we're having to polish these back out. So I've got no power at my shop, so I'm over here, and this is what we're going to be doing today. And Logan's out of school.
Yep.
He's going to be cleaning today.
Nope.
I guess the best thing to do on polishing the wheels is just keep sanding and sanding and sanding according to Johnny till it shines.
Kind of like polishing a turd. It can be done.
See, we're still sanding on these things. We've got 3 more to go. How shiny do we think we need to get them?
Like a mirror.
How shiny?
You look confused.
A mirror?
A mirror, yeah, it can be done.
A mirror?
Like chrome, anyway. Yeah.
You've lost your mind. You're hand sanding.
Yes.
I don't want a hand sand.
Well,
I want to use this thing here.
next payday we'll go out and buy something that'll fit on that.
This is gonna take forever.
It does take a while, but it's soft aluminum. It sands pretty quick, really.
Not as quick as it does with this. We're gonna try a little spot on these wheels and see if it's gonna be worth all the work. I don't want to sand them more because he wants to do it by hand. So what is that little, what is that you're rubbing on?
That's compound. The compound for polishing aluminum.
Oh, okay, compound for aluminum. All right, let's see what it looks like. Wow. You can definitely tell the difference in it.
Yeah.
Of course, we're not got all of our sanding. This is old.
Yeah, this was just a little test buff right there, just to
Yeah.
see if we've gone far enough with our hand sanding yet.
I hate hand sanding.
I do too. Stephen has given me the task of repairing a dent in a tailgate without disturbing the patina. You know, rust. You see that little ding right there? And that one right there. A few more down through there. Oh yeah. Don't forget this one. And that one. Every one of these has one of these on the bottom. Big one right there. This one even bent the backside. It's, you know, tailgate's bent right there. What I'm doing, cleaned off all the rust. I found all the spot welds, drilled them out, got them all popped loose up to about right here. And my intention is to fold this panel back so I can have access to the front side that is bent. Then maybe use a C-clamp, clamp against this wood, and press the dents out. Not going to hit it with a hammer because that would show. It would disturb things. Once I get all that done, assuming I can get that done, I will fold this panel back down and get a little MIG welder and fill in these holes with a little weld, grind them smooth, and it'll be like it never happened. I got the panel bent back about like I thought. It's full of rust, and here's the dent I'm going to try to push out. And what's that doing there? Now I can get in there and clean out the rust and do a really nice job and push the dent out.
You see, folks, with a good grinder, you can cover up a bad weld.
Yeah, I've heard that.
We're slowly making progress on the Dodge we call Bernard. Show you what we got at this point. Gas tank is in. Got a new sending unit, cleaned up all the gas lines going to the front. Boy, it looks good, don't it? Got new hoses all the way to the fuel pump, and I went ahead and put a new fuel pump on it because I thought, why not? So that'll make the fuel all the way to the carburetor will be brand spanking new. And while we was working on it, our windshield wipers wasn't working, so we went out there and took another motor off of a old junk Dodge I got out there. We're putting it on. So we're getting pretty close. And in the midst of this,
There's something wrong with that welder. There's too much weld, not enough stick.
I think there's a nut loose behind the welder.
Back off.
Yeah. Anyway, this Dodge, this dash actually come out of a '69 dump truck that we had down there that he is cutting and welding, and it is going to be in the '97 Dodge that he's working on, because they all know all the dashes on them Dodges just fall all apart. We come up with a pretty good idea on this. This is actually a bread pan that we have cut, or he cut. And well, if you see that weld, look how good that weld is.
It might crack just like the old dash did.
Let me tell you something, fellas. There's nothing that a good grinder won't cover up a bad weld. I think it's going to look pretty cool when we get done with it. Actually went and put the AC vents out of the other truck in it.
Goes out of a 76.
76 Dodge. That's out of a 76 Dodge, so he's got that in there. But a lot of grinding to do now.
I know it.
Don't give up.
I'm going to.
Trying to talk as loud as I can because he's trying to fix his weld over there. But anyway, this is the windshield wiper motor off of the 72 Dodge. This is the wiper motor off of an 87 Dodge. So they've used that same wiper motor. You see no difference in them whatsoever. 72, 87. Of course, I had to put this part on it off of the 72. The 87 didn't have that, but I'd say they made some money off of that over the years. Here's a technique that I have learned over the years that works pretty good when you're trying to vacuum in tight areas. If you just take a funnel like this, which is a transmission funnel, cheap as it can be, take your vacuum hose, shove it down in here. You can actually get down in these tight areas. That you normally can't get to. It works pretty good.
This is Johnny with the Phillips Run Drip and Bubble Company, body shop division. They even asked me to show you how I polish wheels. I'll start out by showing you all the tools and things I use, and then we'll go from there. We're starting out with a wheel like this. And we hope to end up with wheels that look like these. To do that, I use several different tools. This one just spins. And this one is a DA type sander. It spins a little, but it also rotates. Gives a little finer finish. Then I have several buffers. A large one, I use this for paint mostly, but it seems to be working pretty good on these wheels. And this one right here, I have a cotton wheel on it. And then I have these foam pads I can use to finish up with. Several different grades of sandpaper. I'm starting out with 180 because this wheel still has some pits. They were sandblasted. And you can see there's still quite a bit of pitting in the metal. We've already sanded on these some, but they got a ways to go yet. Then I'll progress right on through 240, 320, 400, 600, 1000, 1200, and then finish up with some 2000 grit. I'll use 3 or 4 sheets per wheel. Then I'll switch over with this buffer. It's fairly aggressive cutting and gets the worst part of the sanding scratches out fairly quick. Then I'll switch over to the cotton wheel. It's better for getting into some of the nooks and crannies. And finish up with the foam wheel and various kinds of compounds and metal polishes in hopes of ending up with something that looks like those. I like to start out with the one that just spins. It's a little more aggressive, and also it gets down here into these center part of the wheel better. With this one, the air hose comes over here and hits the wheel, and I really can't hardly get to it. So I start out with this one. Got a battery power, so there's no hose to get in the way. All right, that seems to have most of the bad pits sanded out. Got some along the rim here, a few little scratches here and there. Around through here, there were some pretty bad pits, and then mainly right there. So I've got all that. Now I'm going to switch over to my little DA sander here and see if I can clean up some of these more aggressive grinding marks. And then I will work on this in here too. Alright, and you kind of see what I'm doing there. I take out all these grinder marks. I'll come around through here, take these grinder marks out, down here, and then I'll hit these areas. Still working with the 180 grit paper. Okay, that has the wheel sanded down to 180 grit all over the whole wheel. I won't bore you with all the grits in between. I'll come back when we start buffing. But I am going to go with 240, 320, 400, 600, 1000, 1500, and 2000 grit paper. So you can see how that can get kind of boring pretty quick. I have sanded it up to the 2000 grit. May not show up on camera, but the aluminum starts to shine a little bit and takes on that darker look like those wheels. And that's one that has not been sanded. It still has that silver look. This one is kind of in between. That's when you know you're getting close. I like to start out with this plain old rubbing compound. And a big old wool pad buffer. And the final. Not bad for a few hours of rubbing and rubbing and rubbing and rubbing. And one more to go.
There's always something you have to do when you're changing things around, because nothing just bolts right up like it's supposed to. I got this distributor that I bought, one wire distributor, which I like this. But anyway, when we get it put in, the bracket holding the kick down and the throttle is too short. So we're going to have to figure out something on this to where we can fix the bracket. Goes in there. So what I got on my mind, and Evan is still cleaning up his weld. I'm going to lengthen this 2 inches. I'm going to cut a piece of metal out of this, cut that down the middle, weld that in. That should raise that up. And in theory, that should clear everything. So let's see how that turns out.
Shut up.
All right, test fit. See how it's going to work before we start welding it.
This one will work. It'll clear back there.
That it?
Yeah, it'll clear back there.
That good?
Yep.
We got all kinds of dogs up here today. That's Henry. And then there's Moonshine. Moonshine needs a bath. Anyway, this is what we come up with. I've extended that up about, I don't know, probably 3 inches. Then had to extend this part up. Got her up painted back, all pretty. We're changing the oil in it now. Fixing to let her down and bowl all this together, and we should be motivating here in a minute. It's all about trial and error, and it didn't work. We've got to cut this off and move it forward about right here. So, back to the drawing board. Well, this is a new addition. We'll see how this works before we paint it. All right, there is the finished product. I'm proud of that. Boy, we just did all kinds of cutting and welding, but look how that hooked up. Just like a factory Dodge. This rod here, we had to lengthen it. See down at the bottom, we had to lengthen it. But that should work out really, really nice. Now we're gonna see if that big GM distributor is gonna fit in here. The problem was that GM distributor, I call it GM distributor, but anyway, it is so big, we didn't have enough clearance for everything. Well, I think we've got everything back on it like it's, well, let me rephrase that. I think we got everything back together, but as you can see, that distributor is crammed down in there tight, so it might give us a little bit of issue. I don't like the looks of a Chevy distributor on a Mopar, so at this point, we fixing to try it. Are y'all ready? Here. That should be good. All right, we should have it ready. He's got the fuel put in the carburetor. Let's see how it works. Let's go. Ready? That's the way it's supposed to run. Man, that runs good. Oh, that runs good. I think it's time to get it to the body shop, get her put together, and see how it turns out. I think we need to take a test drive. We sprung a leak. Running good though. a seat.
If I tighten it up, I'll go get some back.
Sit in here with Henry. What do you think, Henry? Henry, what do you think, bud?
I want to go ride.
We riding now.
Hold on, we're going 40. No, we're going 20. No, we're going 40.
How bad's the brakes?
I think that needs adjusted a little bit.
Ah, here we go. Don't pull out.
A really good air conditioner.
No doors. I don't feel real safe, to be honest with you. I about slid out.
Whoa! There we go. Oh! Those corners too out. Good thing I got a steering wheel the size of a Peterbilt.
Yeah. Oh, feel that horsepower.
I like the horsepower of this turn down here with the brakes. I think
It's got drum brakes. That's pretty much drum brakes.
Can you adjust them a little bit?
Not much, no. Your adjustings after they get hot, you have no brakes. What if that? Here's air conditioning right
This
here.
thing drives really good.
There's air conditioning. We got it on now.
Like the steering wheel ain't got a bit of slack in it.
I do like the hoods.
I love those.
I think we did all right. Let's see if he slides out again.
If you turn hard like that.
Please don't run over the oak tree. What do you think, Henry?
I don't think I put the doors on it.
Definitely see what's on the ground. Now watch him, he's going out the door again.
It's going one way and I'm going the other. This is pretty good, don't it?
Yep. It's been sitting for, I don't know how many years.
I like this truck.
Go through the...
Look at that killer.
There's the warlock heading this way. I think the old thing runs good.
It's loading up a little bit.
Oh wow, look at that. That's fancy.
Man, I can't believe this truck now. They sat right there behind that shed for years.
Yeah, where we going?
I'm just gonna drive this road.
You can't get through that road.
Oh,
Let's jump the gravel pile. You're in neutral.
I might have it. We need to look to get back and see if them floats are.
I think it's good.
Right.
Need to be drove a little bit. I'm glad the shocks are shot in this thing because
Huh?
I ain't got no cushion.
Where's me now? Listen. Oh, I'm going out. I'm going out. What? She's gonna take. Why is everybody taking pictures? I know it's a nice truck and all. Your battery's good at it.
What do you think there, bud? I believe he likes it.
Hey, he likes it.
Let's get this thing over to the body shop.
this.